LEGOLAND California is located in San Diego, and this is actually our very first time visiting, so we wanted to take a brief overview of both of the hotels. Now, we weren't staying at either hotel, but we decided to have breakfast at the LEGOLAND Hotel, which is the first one we checked out. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the public spaces of both hotels, as well as a complete tour of the SeaLife Aquarium and the entire LEGOLAND park. I hope you enjoy my commentary throughout. I will be throwing in some tips and tricks here and there, as well as giving some fun facts, so strap in and enjoy the show. Starting with the LEGOLAND Hotel, this area that we stumbled upon seems to be the entirety of the dining experiences. There seems to be a grab-and-go station as well as the Breaks restaurant where we were headed, except there is an outdoor entrance to that restaurant, which we were not immediately aware of. But it gave us a great opportunity to walk through the entire lobby, which is a children's paradise. I also want to take a moment to just point out the proximity to the park entrance for both hotels. I genuinely love that non-hotel guests do have access to this experience because the buffet was absolutely lovely and completely reasonable at around $18 per adult and $13 per child. As hotel guests, your breakfast is actually included in your stay. And the best part is they also have dinner buffets, so as you're leaving the park at night, you can go grab a quick dinner also. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go do a quick look at the LEGOLAND Castle Hotel before we proceed. Both hotels have lovely theming. This one just is a little bit more centered toward wizards, princesses, and of course knights. We have not stayed at either of the hotels, but according to the website, all of the rooms are not only themed, but have children-specific areas in each room, including bunk beds. With the Christmas tree in frame, it is a good time to mention that we did visit in early December when it was already fairly cold and of course smack bang in the holiday season, so we did not check out the water park. But they do have one, and I'm looking forward to checking it out this summer. The LEGOLAND Castle Hotel is a little bit more on 2 levels, so you have to go to the upper area for the dining experience, where yes, they also do have a breakfast buffet for hotel guests that is complimentary, as well as non-hotel guests if you prefer to do your breakfast buffet before park opens at this hotel instead. And once again, I just want to point out the incredible proximity to the park itself, because as far as hotels and parks go, I don't think I've seen it any closer, and both of the hotels are very, very close. So you can sneak off in the middle of the day for a little nap, or if you just had an accident, it's very convenient. That being said, you don't need to go as hard at the LEGOLAND park as other parks because this park is only open from around 10 a.m. to around 6 p.m. It's not open at night, unlike Universal, Disney, or Knott's, for example. I did a horrible job transitioning this because I did actually not get any footage of the front of the building. However, this is the SeaLife Aquarium. It is immediately to the left of the LEGOLAND park entrance and does require either a separate ticket or a park hopper ticket. The cool part is you can actually access SeaLife Aquarium from inside of LEGOLAND as well. So you can go in between both parks effortlessly, which was really nice because SeaLife Aquarium was such an amazing, just decompressing experience for us, an amazing sensory break for little ones who might need that, like our little one who's on the spectrum. And honestly, it was informative and just very relaxing. There are also multiple places to just sit and watch, which is really nice. There are tons of really great exhibits throughout the SeaLife Aquarium. Although it's not a very big aquarium, it is a very interactive one, especially for little ones, which our little ones really appreciated. According to the website, there is about 5,000 living creatures that you can interact with at the SeaLife Aquarium. Throughout your day at LEGOLAND, you will find many different ways in which LEGOLAND California gives back to its local communities, and the same goes for the SeaLife Aquarium. There are many instances where they accept donations as well as educate on ways that you can conserve marine life and sea life. There's also a lot of different plaques sharing fun information about all of the different species that you're encountering. And there's even reptiles. Check out this adorable bearded dragon that we spotted. And they even have some snakes. I also noticed on the program that they do have a reptile show, so I'm assuming that there are people who come to speak on these animals as well. Up until this point, I thought the aquarium was very cutesy. It's not until this very moment right here that I realized that there was still a lot more in store. The SeaLife Aquarium is actually a 2-level building, and there is a small outdoor space before you get into the main part of the building that is like the best part of the building. But this was my son's favorite room right here. You get to watch this school of fish just go around and around and around and around and around the room, and he enjoys just sitting here. Is great for sensory relief. Now for the little outdoor space where they do have a touch pool where you can actually interact with some of these amazing creatures like the anemones and starfish. Before and after, you can wash your hands at the hand washing station to keep all of the animals safe. And I had a lot of fun interacting with these animals. Also, I was just not ready for how grabby they were. There are actually amazing employees in this area that will spend a lot of time with kids explaining to them exactly what they're looking at and giving them some more information on each of the animals. There were actually some tanks at the beginning of the video where a lot of these animals go to take a break after being touched out here for a while. They do give them periodic little timeouts because nobody likes to be touched that much, me included. Honestly, if I allowed them, my kids would have spent the entire day in this very area. My little one especially really enjoyed interacting with all of these beautiful animals, and it is a very great, unique way to get some hands-on experience and learn some things you wouldn't normally learn, especially from just a book. Alright, time to move on into the main area of the aquarium where I was very happy to see some jellyfish. This is one of my favorite tanks at any aquarium. Now there is a bit of a chaos warning ahead because for the next couple of clips, I just did not know where to look because everything was amazing. This is their main tank. It is a 2-story tank and there are many different viewpoints in this tank, including this incredible tunnel that you get to walk through. And this is where the chaos warning came in because I couldn't figure out what I was filming. There were just way too many sharks swimming over your head and I couldn't focus on just one, so I apologize for that. So even though this is not necessarily one of the biggest aquariums ever, this tank alone really made it worth it. There are so many different species in this tank alone, including some incredible sharks, and you can watch this tank from all 4 corners, even upstairs. So there were so many different spots for us to just stop and look and just bask in the awesomeness that was this incredibly beautiful tank. We spent easily 1 to 2 hours just with this tank alone. Once again, this is an incredible sensory relief experience, not just for little ones, not just for individuals on the spectrum, but for overstimulated parents as well. It was very relaxing to just sit and watch. And still, there were so many little tanks scattered around the big tank for little ones who wanted to keep exploring while others rested. We gradually made our way upstairs. It is a very accessible park, so not only did they have a staircase, but they also had elevators for those who need it. And upstairs, they still had great windows to sit and watch. I had to literally pry my little one off the floor. He was so engaged, and there were actually amazing LEGO workers who came to sit down on the floor with him and literally discuss with him all of his favorite fish that he was seeing, talk to him about the sharks. He was enamored. If we lived any closer, I can guarantee you there would be days where we would just be going to the aquarium. Speaking of which, they do have annual passes, so if you do live locally to San Diego or close enough where you can get there over weekends, this is definitely an option for you. I really enjoyed this aquarium experience. As an adult, as a parent, this was such a fun thing for me to do. My children, on the other hand, adored this experience. I don't think we expected to go to Legoland and have this be one of the highlights of our day. We even found Nemo. When it just comes to pure interactiveness for little ones to explore and engage with their surroundings, Legoland really does it superbly well. Honestly, not just in the aquarium, you will see this throughout my Legoland walkthrough later on in this video. There are so many different ways for kids to actively interact with their surroundings. Speaking of Legoland and the rest of the park, it is about that time to wrap up things at the aquarium. This is definitely a must do when you're at the park. I cannot stress that enough. Legoland does move in sort of a perfect circle, so we were able to go from right to left and work our way around the park through the 8 different lands that I will be showing you, starting with the Ninjago area. All of the areas are beautifully themed, have so many different interactive things for kids to do and see, and I love the accessibility at the parks. Each of the rides actually has a sensory guide letting you know what you're in for before you get into it. That being said, the rides are not too crazy at Legoland. Honestly, compared to some of the other amusement parks, this one really is geared toward younger families with kids ages between 2 to 12. It really reflects that not only in the theming, in the food, but also in the fact that every area has its own playground where kids can literally blow off steam in between all of the other crazy things that are happening at amusement parks with all of the sugar intake. They do get the wigglies that they need to sometimes just let out, and Legoland understood the assignment and gave us exactly what we needed at exactly the right points of our day. It's like magic, honestly. Getting back to accessibility, Legoland does have a disability access service, which you can apply for at guest services at the beginning of the day at the front of the park. The disability access service has been a touchy subject at other theme parks lately, and I do want to say that as far as disability access service qualification go and ease of use, I think personally Legoland scores the highest. Even though they have an app, it is not a digital system yet. It is a paper format, but still very effortless and easy to use. I love the way it transitions into different areas of the park with different theming, and it is very easy to get to all of the areas of the park, even on wheels. So whether you're in a wheelchair, have a mobility scooter, or you are simply dealing with a wagon or a stroller, don't worry, you'll be just fine. We even see amazing accessibility in the bathrooms, whether you need a family restroom, bigger stalls, or just different heights and sinks, you are covered. Now, this is definitely one of the larger areas of the park, and again, it is themed more toward castles, knights, princesses, and wizards. I love that. It has a couple of different rides as well as a large dining area. It is a barbecue sort of space, and it smelled amazing. I definitely need to go back to check it out for sure. Once again, there are tons of ways for kids to blow off steam in this area. They even have scattered throughout the park little prize areas where you can win these kind of carnival game prizes. I love that. And of course, another themed playground, because why not? Sadly, I did not get it on film. It wasn't running while I was there, but they do have the dragon coaster in this area, which I've been told is one of the best coasters at the park. So definitely something to look forward to next time as well. Now, one of my favorite rides of the day, we're going back to sort of an aquarium feel for this one. It is the Deep Sea Adventure. It is sort of a submarine ride, but not like the ones at Disney. This one definitely is the superior submarine ride. I am somebody who struggles with claustrophobia, and I cannot go on the Finding Nemo submarines at Disneyland. However, this submarine is a lot more spacious. I did not feel claustrophobic. I am 6'2", and it was very easy for me to get in and out of this ride vehicle. I absolutely thought this was the cutest thing ever. There's nothing crazy going on here. It is a very slow moving ride vehicle, and it is a fairly short ride. However, there are actual fish in this tank. Not only are there actual fish in this tank, but there are literal sharks in this tank. It is so cute. Listen, I know I've used the word cute to describe this ride several times already, but it really is. It also has an interactive feature, which is so much fun to do, even for adults. I had fun with this on my own, where you do sort of a mini scavenger hunt where you spot things outside of the ride vehicle and then use the tablets inside of the ride vehicle to say what you saw. So sometimes it could be, gemstones or treasure or art. anything you see outside of the ride vehicle, you can then report inside of the ride vehicle on your tablet, like I'm doing right now. And if it turns green, it means yes, we know that you saw that, that's there, you're correct. And it will kind of tally up a score for you at the end of the ride, which is really fun. The tablets inside of the ride vehicle also have fun facts about the fish that you're able to spot on the outside. So sometimes it'll tell you something interesting about rays or sharks or some of the other fish that you can see. And I really was not expecting to see as many fish on the ride, but I truly was not expecting to see like truly bigger fish, like an actual shark. I was not really expecting to see inside. And you don't fully submerge. Your top part of the ride vehicle is kind of outside of the water. So that's one thing that made me feel better as somebody who struggles with claustrophobia. So you're not fully submerged. So in case of an emergency, you can't get out and it's fine. So there's that. That's good. Safety is always good. But I truly was not expecting to enjoy this as much as I did. It was really a fun experience. And again, not expecting like literal sharks. Hello? Sharks? Are you serious? Yes, sharks. And I loved everything about this. Honestly, I did this ride twice. I could have gone 2 more times. This is the speed. This is the speed at which it goes. It's not like a roller coaster. Don't expect anything like too crazy, but honestly, this was my jam. And I guess like it was just an aquatic kind of day for us because I was just, vibing out with all of the sharks. It does change colors here and there. There are fun little bubbles everywhere. At no point was this ride ever scary. At no point did you ever feel like you were actually in danger. Here we go. Sharks. Look at that. Friggin' sharks, man. Okay. Anyway, I'm geeking out too much just even watching this back, but I hope you can tell just the quality of rides. Even though these rides are kind of just dedicated to kids, it really is just like the quality is next level. None of this is cheap. And then just going back to the fact that this is Legoland and you just have opportunities everywhere to just stop and play with Lego. I mean, how absolutely cool. I am just so happy. This is my happy place. I love Lego. Growing up, Lego was one of my favorite toys. It was my mom's favorite toy. It's definitely one of those generational things that just keeps getting passed down. And now Lego is one of my kids' favorite toys too. This ride is sort of tucked away in the back corner next to the water park. The water park is kind of just in that back corner, behind this ride, and your chances of getting wet here is guaranteed. Just look at the floor around this ride. You're getting wet in this area, whether you're on the ride or whether you're standing on the sideline, you can get sprayed. And honestly, it looked like a ton of fun, but I did mention it is December and it was just a little bit too cold for us to risk it, but I want to come back and give it a try. Honestly though, it does seem to be a good year-round park. There definitely seems to be something for every season, and I hope that I've been able to demonstrate in the last several clips just the intensity level of the rides, which is basically none. This really is a park catered toward kids and non-thrill ride seeking people such as myself. My husband, my kids, and I really don't necessarily love thrill rides, and we thoroughly enjoyed every single ride we went on. At no point did we stop and say, ooh, that looks too scary, or I don't think I can go on that ride. Every single ride felt approachable for us. And one thing that I absolutely adore is the fact that every single ride that was catered toward kids, the adults could go on to. And this doesn't sound like something that you really necessarily have to say. However, there are other amusement parks, especially with kids sections that are catered toward kids, that the ride vehicles either A, do not accommodate adults, cannot fit adults, can only fit one adult, or have severe weight restrictions, so adults or larger children can't go on it. That's not the case with Legoland, and I really appreciate that. The Lego Duplo section is supposed to be for toddlers, but my little one on the spectrum, who's not really that little, really enjoyed playing pretend here too. Did you know that throughout Legoland, there are more than 30,000 Lego models made up out of more than 60 million Lego bricks? Sometimes you just catch yourself just jaw open, staring at some of the pieces that were created specifically for this park and all of the hours of work that must have gone into it. I did promise some tips and tricks, of course, so here are some of the things that I found helpful and that I'll probably do next time. This may sound obvious, but dress for the season and dress in layers. This is primarily an outdoor park, and you're going to be outside in the cold if it's cold or outside in the heat when it's hot. So make sure that you're dressing for the season that you're in, but also the layers are important, especially for little ones, because you're going to be running around, walking a ton. In some instances where you do go inside, you're going to want to be taking some things off and putting some things back on. So layers. And then, of course, this is a theme park. You are going to be walking a lot. There are a lot of uphill as well as downhill. So make sure that you are wearing your comfiest walking shoes, something with grip, something that'll keep you standing up. And especially for little ones, make sure they're wearing very comfortable closed-toed shoes when they're playing on those playgrounds, but something that is still easy enough to take off in some instances. There are some playgrounds that require you to take your shoes off, so make sure it's not too complicated, but it definitely needs to be comfortable. Now, parents, you can not only bring your strollers, but you can even bring a wagon into Legoland California, which is crazy because no other amusement parks allow wagons anymore. And this is literally a game changer. So all those layers I told you to pack them. Bring your wagon, no problem. You cannot bring a cooler with substantial amounts of food. However, you can bring snacks, and I encourage you to bring some crisps and crackers, things like that to keep kids going throughout the day, to keep yourself going throughout the day. And remember to bring your refillable water bottles. This is a must at any amusement park. You need to stay hydrated, and they do have a lot of refill stations. The Lego movie area. This was such a fun, bright area. There are 2 rides in this area that we did not go on because we don't like heights. Number 1 was Emmett's Flying Adventure Ride. It is similar to Soarin'. It's indoors, but you are about 20 feet off the ground. That was a no-go for me. Next was the Disco Kitty Drop, and we don't really love the drops, so that was a no for us also. Of course, merry-go-rounds are a must for us, and this is another one of those amazing accessible rides. Fun fact, the pink pole horses don't move up and down, so if you don't need the extra sensory input, that's a great one for you. And of course, saving the best for last, Dino Valley opened over this past summer, and we have been looking forward to seeing it ever since. This is our first time experiencing it in person, and I just have to say, this was definitely, hands down, our favorite area of the park. We love dinosaurs, and this area did not disappoint. We are a self-proclaimed gaming family, board games, card games, but my youngest especially loves video games, and he has been playing the Nintendo Switch LEGO Jurassic Park Jurassic World games, and he's been ready. He's been preparing for this. This first ride does have a Jeep ride vehicle where 2 people can sit in the front and 2 people can sit in the back. My husband and I opted to sit in the back because the 2 front seats not only have the steering wheels, but also these fun little camera attachments, so we figured the kids would have a lot more fun. I did not expect both of the kids to get as into it. I was maybe not even expecting either of them to get into it, but surprisingly, they both really did enjoy this, and that brought me so much joy, and I loved being able to experience that with them. I especially love the fact that we did not have to split up our party, that all 4 of us fit comfortably into this ride vehicle, which again kind of seems like maybe an obvious thing to say, but really not. If you're comparing directly with another park like Knott's, for example, with Camp Snoopy, they have a similar sort of ride in the Camp Snoopy area where you can't have everybody in the same ride vehicle. There can't be 2 adults in the back seat. So you kind of have to split up your party a little bit, which is, it's okay and it's doable, but it's not always fun. I love being able to enjoy it together as a family, and it really is just an amazing experience. Also, these rides tend to be kind of boring. I can see these being boring. very easily, and this one really wasn't. It kept us going, and it was super cute, and we enjoyed it from start to finish. Honestly, we're about to get off the ride, and they're still snapping pictures. They loved every second of this ride. I just have to give it to Legoland. On this one, the theming was exceptional in this area. We loved seeing all of these mega cool dinosaurs made up out of Lego, and there were even some really cool areas for parents to sit down and just chill out for a minute, like this dig area where the kids just spend so much time sitting comfortably in the shade digging for a hot minute while parents just relax. Let's draw another quick comparison to not only Camp Snoopy at Knott's, but also Toontown at Disney. These first roller coasters sometimes are not comfortable for parents, or parents cannot go on them because of weight restrictions and height restrictions. This one, however, I could go on, and it was so much fun. And of course, it's not travel unless it ends in a gift shop. We have made a full loop around the entire park, ending back up at the front gate where you can find the big shop, and anything Lego related will be here, I promise you. Of course, we had to pick up a couple of souvenirs. We always get a pin, but that was it, and I hope you had as much fun as we did at Legoland. And if you like more videos like this, please consider subscribing to our channel.